Over the past about 2 years or so, I've learned a lot about health and alternative healing practices. When I turned 27, I started making drastic changes to my lifestyle. Up till that point, I had been sick and unwell in so many ways, both mentally and physically, for my entire adolescence and early adulthood. I've had to figure out for myself what actually works to treat the laundry list of symptoms that were slowly killing me for so long. The allopathic medicine route did little for me in the years of futile appointments in which I relayed the pain and discomfort I was experiencing, only to fall on deaf ears. This is a common story I hear all the time, in particular from other women around my age. Collectively, we seem to be experiencing deterioration of our health by way of any combination of a myriad of ailments plaguing our generation right now. Autoimmune conditions that were hardly even recognized or seen before the 21st century now make up a list of over 80 diseases, and you likely have a friend or loved one that has at least one of them. Anything you can imagine going wrong with the human body, reproductive health issues like PCOS and endometriosis, an unprecedented rate of infertility and miscarriages, obesity, diabetes, allergies, asthma, skin conditions, the list goes on and on. Mental health problems are ubiquitous. I've never met a peer that doesn't struggle to some extent with depression, anxiety, mood disorders, identity crisis, substance abuse. Many of them are physically dependent on prescription psychoactive medications for those very conditions. I know I was one of them. These medications are only compounding the toxic load in our bodies, which are already compromised by the exponentially increasing level of toxins in our environments. These are things I see and hear about constantly. Sadder yet to me is how most of the dialogue happening around these issues that we're having, and their treatments, consists of the lies and snake oil fed to us by the medical establishment. We're constantly comparing and contrasting different treatments and medications we've taken, and all the ways in which they failed us. The doctors always find something they can write a lifelong prescription for, don't they? And even then, only after you've spent several years buying your way in through countless unproductive visits, keeping your fingers crossed the whole time that eventually you'll end up with the right referral to the right specialist that will help you. I have a problem with this paradigm of health we're existing in, and I want to shed light on a different outlook. I want to share some of the things I have learned that have honestly changed my life and given me my health back. I want to show how simple it can be, that we are fed this narrative that the human body is this impossibly complicated thing. But that narrative serves only to further disconnect us from our own bodies and our inherent ability to heal ourselves. It pushes us to rely on these so-called medical professionals, who must know way more than we do about our own health, and are the only ones who could help us. How could we possibly help ourselves when we haven't studied the same complex anatomical intricacies? Here's the number one thing I have learned. Healing comes from within. We have a hard time accepting and embodying that truth for the hardships we are facing, because we are conditioned to believe that they are out of our control. Our modern society is not set up to allow us to heal. If anything, our culture is set up to maintain and add to the cumulative stress keeping us sick. But there are little things we can do to undermine seemingly benign aspects of our daily lives that are seriously keeping us sick, and the power is ours alone. So this has just been an introduction video of sorts for a short series that I'm starting on this channel about recovering your health. I hope I haven't lost you with sounding too crazy yet. I've been met with a lot of skepticism and criticism, frankly, in my real life about the ways I've gone about overhauling my physical health through alternative methods besides going to doctors and getting medications. And this includes both mental and physical health. Over the last year and a half, my health has improved so dramatically, which has resulted in my life changing so dramatically. And people who I've known through this time period have noticed and they've asked questions. So I thought it would just be a good idea to make a video about it. It ended up needing to be more than one video, it turns out, because it's just been such a journey that I have a lot to say. It was actually Gabe's idea initially to just make a video talking about the things that we do for our health on kind of a day-to-day basis, just in general, that aren't very common. And so I started planning how to do that video, and I just realized that I couldn't do just one video, first of all, because I just wanted to provide more context than a single video would allow. So this has been an introduction, just kind of laying out where I'm coming from and my philosophies regarding our modern approach to health, our Western approach to health. And the next few videos are going to go more in depth into changes that I've made specifically. So I'll be explaining those things that I do, why I do them. The main thing that we get asked about all the time is our diet and the way we eat, so that's what the first video is going to be about. If what you've already heard so far isn't resonating with you, if you're perfectly content with your conventional doctors and your conventional medicines, I hear you, I feel you, that's cool. That's not where I'm at. That's not what worked for me. And it was not for a lack of trying. I've been at this since I was a teenager. And frankly, I feel really blessed to have found the answers that I have found at as young of an age as I'm at. Because I see people generations older than me struggling with their health and thinking that there's no answers and that there's nothing they can do, and throwing their hands up at God asking why nothing works, why nothing that they're told should work is working, or why they're being told that things are the way they are and there's nothing to do about it, and running through all of these hoops with the medical and pharmaceutical industry. And it's really sad to see. And if you're seeing the same kinds of things that I'm talking about, then we have something to talk about. And that's what this series is serving to do.